No, behind every great grief to be overcome, there is a story of a love and loss. When two very arduous, potent, suffered, pained, agonized people meet, a man and a woman, and they conjoin their mutual understanding to the depths of insight, orchids of steel emerge. And this is an unshakable road that you travel together in trust, honesty, great commitment, loyalty, devotion. Now you may say that in the modern days there's the ordinary relationship supermarket. People call love, love, and all the amorish nonsense. But what happens when true love is encountered? And not only true love is encountered, but also the woman and the man are very potent magicians that bring effect to the world, that their love outshines, and the gods shine through their love into the world. In this diatomic triad of eros, philia, and agape, and sublimation, rectification, alchemical rubedo, the lunar queen and the solar king, mastering the crowns of planets, as if rendering the natures pertaining to those spheres, embodying them, incorporating them, wearing those crowns together. But you say that history of great losses in love is a history of cherishing memories. Memories that are a grave, like gods that build upon the ruins of themselves in their temples, trying to recover it through demiurgic art, philosophy, longing, woe, sorrow, and then create something of utter beauty, surpassing anything that they could imagine previously. That's the constant respiritualization effort of this Platonic cave and essentializing it back to the divinities. Now, I lived through a great love in the past, which is also the source of what makes me humane, what is the source of my philosophy as a disciple of my past love, what rehumanizes me, and what teaches me perfect insight into what love was, is, and will be. Now, our story was a very turbulent one. The witches from the other side, from the shades, gave us 40 years of happy marriage. We were married by the gods in epithalamium as husband and wife. We didn't need churches. We didn't need a civic document for that. We were a couple. We were married. Now, when such great outshining loves appear, there's a crucial thing called moderation. You need to be wise in moderation and honest in moderation. Otherwise, if the passions will put you too far, even in the greatest and fiercest of frenzied agonies of love, then you will outshine. And light, outshining light, provokes darkness. So we provoked our hells and the dead combined. You combined nasty, jealous religions of some freak Judeo-Christianity. We were both heathens, pagans. And we were very effective in our magic for the gods on behalf of the gods, for the world on behalf of the world, for the people. Now, something didn't like it. Not at all. And I was helpless. I was standing, seeing her soul displaced and her mind invaded by the worst kind of sorrows, griefs, hatreds, turning all the teachings that she received from the great maestras of the past that was speaking through her as I became her disciple, turning it all around. turning it against us, destroying my mind. Now I was discerning enough to stand my ground, and I couldn't prevent her falling into this disgrace. So I decided to salvage her, and I committed a ritual of commendation to Magna Mater Kibele, to the goddess of the stars. I wanted to appeal as high as I could in the universe in order to at least preserve her spirit. And in great reverence, I managed to succeed as she was tearing the veils of the worlds from herself, and as her spirit was ascending through countless worlds upwards. Then I attempted to bring her back to herself as she was invaded by lesser forces and nasty creatures. But I noticed that she is used against me to make me fall into grief, war, sorrow, hatred, contempt, to separate myself from this love completely. So we parted, and I done everything to preserve this memory as it is fading away. Now, sometimes in the night sky, I see her beautiful golden silver face, gazing with great compassion and understanding at me, something that I wished for in our life, that she will be a perfect priestess, surpassing me in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in every aspect of sciences, philosophy, art, and magic. And in this she was perfected. Above the above. Gate, paramsa, gate, bodhi, svaha. This required facilitation. So here I am, commemorating her in the stars. Her soul, her fierce, beautiful soul, sometimes embodied in various females I meet on the streets. And I see her flying, jetting, embodying herself into them as they look towards me with her face. And there were times when I was longing for it, and there were times when I wanted to banish her from myself because I couldn't bear the pain. Now I find it a wayward sign. Now everyone likes happy endings. This story is a bit different, as her shadow soul, pitch black soul, was imprisoned in the chthonic hells. So I prayed Orpheus to my Eurydice, but in reverse. The Black Pyramid Brotherhoods appeared in front of a mirror, and in great pain and sorrow, I torn my face with my fingernails open to the blood and meat. And I requested that I may be contaminated by Black Brotherhoods if she will be released from their domain. Now she was worthless for them. My sorrow and blood was somehow more important than her release. Therefore, she was released as the stark-headed Proserpine. A long time ago, before we've met, I've seen two shadows, male and female, in embrace. Love amongst the shadows, love amongst the dead, as if predicting that we shan't meet in great glories, but in the sorrowful shades of death. Yet love still thrives, even in death. So as I disperse those words in this nightly hour, for the rest of my life I need to commit to my duties, and beyond my death I need to commit to my duties. Because when you live through everything that a mortal should and shouldn't live true at all. I may say that I do not envy those who never loved, because it's better to love greatly, and lose it all, than to be an unborn child that never will even witness it, or a man half dead living through a life never understanding or catching a glimpse of this splendid idea. And love is real now. It is real. Very real. If you combat for each other and carry each other in great commitments and strength, in loyalty and devotion, sooner or later you'll invite the bodies. And then the real war, the tango, the diabolical tango begins, in which perhaps we were born to lose. Yet still, it's a worthy fight, a worthy war. Because then you commit to the greatest walk, not the great walk of passing the abyss and crowning. The greatest walk is the sacrifice in liberating someone else. Just one spirit is enough. That's the magnum opus. That's the pelican feeding his young with his blood. And hence I will look with longing towards the stars. And after I fulfill my cycles and thousands of years in duties, perhaps we shall meet again. Or perhaps I will be just chasing mirages and illusions of what she was. Because what is consumed by the divine fire leaves behind masks, veils that are just simulacra of the true love. Life the only reality. You have just one chance on earth while you are alive in a mortal shell to find the right one. One life. And then perhaps your spirits entwined meet again elsewhere. A very noble enterprise.